Welcome to the Del Walmsley Radio Show. Listen and grow as Del questions the status quo, encourages you to think differently, and empowers you to make a better life. Get ready as Del challenges core beliefs, seeks the truth, and reveals the roadmap to the lifestyle you really want. And now your host, multi-millionaire, national award-winning investor, CEO and founder of Lifestyles Unlimited, Del Walmsley.
Welcome to the Del Walmsley Radio Show, where the hype ends and the help begins. I'm your host, Del Walmsley, and as always, we're working on your financial freedom. Today, my friends, I'm going to hit the mailbag, and I've got some good questions here that I'm going to answer that are going to follow along with the fact that I'm giving a seminar this weekend. And, you know, if you've listened to me for 30 years, I don't spend a lot of time on the show actually talking about when the seminars are, because we have lots of them. This one's particularly different because this is the one time a year that I'm going to teach, and I don't want you to miss out on it. If it's at all possible, you want to get to this seminar this weekend. It's a 2-day seminar. It's Saturday and Sunday. Now, I also have a case study Thursday night. All of this is in Houston, Texas. This 2-day is the 9th and the 10th. It goes from like 8 in the morning till 5 o'clock in the afternoon, both days. And it's going to be a lot of information. What I'm going to do right now is bring up one of the pieces of information, because the information that you're going to get is, one, how the whole system works. That's the most important. Number two, how to locate, evaluate, and negotiate deals, whether single family or multifamily, how to contract them, how to get the money for them, how to close them, and then, of course, how to operate them, which is just as important. Then how to get out of paying taxes on it so you don't have to pay any income taxes on the way we do this, which is another important aspect. So you're really going to learn 5 different ways that we actually make money with real estate. And you're going to learn all of them in this 2-day period of time. You're going to learn them on single family, and you're going to learn them on multifamily. So you really have at your fingertips the ability to do either, whichever you prefer to do. So this first email that I have here is a very relevant question that I wanted to cover today right out of the blocks. But before I do that, if you're just tuning in, you're going to have to leave. I want to make sure you don't miss this opportunity to get to this 2-day. Normally, our membership is $740 for 1 year and then $240 per year after that. Right now, I'm letting you have 2 years of membership for only $297. So that's extremely low priced. I'm doing this because the marketplace is really, really ripe right now. And it's really hot for buying deals. And I want you not to miss out on this right now. I know that there's a lot of stuff going on in the world. The political terrain is ungodly. And I know you can just get caught up in all the day-to-day stuff, but I get one shot at you. I don't want to miss it. I want you to come in and see me so I can show you what we're doing. And also, for those of you who've been thinking about this for a while, there's a lot of market condition changes that go on. This is my once-a-year market condition change seminar where I set up what we're going to be doing for this period for 2024. So if you want to go to this, you want to get that discount, I want you to go to delhelpmenow.com and use the promo code DEL, D-E-L. Put that in there. There's going to be a bunch of seminars you can choose from. Choose the one I'm doing if you can, March 9th and 10th. Sign up for that. Come to the one I'm at because I want to work with you personally. You listen to me on the radio day after day, month after month, year after year. Come work with me personally. If you've been sitting on the sidelines, you've got doubts whether you can do this, you just need to feel like somebody is real and actually cares, this is your chance to come in and meet me personally and spend some time. That's what I want you to do. So go to delhelpmenow.com, register for my seminar, Houston, 9th and 10th, and put in the promo code DEL to get it for only $297. Now, the email they sent me is a great question. It says, I have a couple of questions. You often reference the term equity capture, deals that enable a buyer to capture as much equity as equity by being so much under market value. Must this not be rare? With so many investors out there looking for them in Texas, what is the actual likelihood that any given investor will find one? However, how many months does it take on average to find and acquire one? Are there single-family homes more available to investors, or are passive investing opportunities more available? All right. Well, there's both. And these are both great questions, but they're both based in fear. And the fear is you can't find any of these deals. So let's start with the single-family equity capture deals, because I think that's important. When you come in this weekend, I'm going to show you how we find these. Now, 90% of the deals we do are not on MLS. They're pocket deals. Because we've been around for 34 years, and because all of the people out there hustling to find these pocket deals know they can offload them onto us instantly. Don't have to go out there and maintain their own buyer list. Don't have to do all the stuff that all the wholesaling and flipping companies tell you to do. All you have to do is find one and dump it off onto us. So we get our hands on tons of these things, right? Because they find it easier to work with us than to try to keep their own buying list and, et cetera, et cetera. They find a deal, they want to know they can get rid of it, all right? So we get these off-market deals, pocket deals, whatever you want to call them. But during the 2-day, I'm going to have my sales manager, Jeff Smith, go online and actually find one of these things live on MLS. Now, why do I do that? Well, in the old days when I was doing it, when I had total access to MLS, I wanted to prove to you that I could find a deal any day of the week. And it's very important for you to understand that we can find a deal any day of the week. Why is that important? Because of what this person is saying. They don't believe there's very many of them out there, and I'm telling you there's lots of them out there. So why can't I find them? That's the $24,000 question. You can't find them for a couple of reasons. Number one, you don't know what you're looking for. You have to know something is well below market price. Somebody telling you it's a good deal, an agent telling you it's a good deal, means nothing. It could be a $400,000 house that you could buy for $390 and it's a $10,000 deduct. But by the time you do $10,000 or $50,000 in rehab, you've lost money on the deal. They're not going to tell you it's a good deal or not. You have to understand and know how to use software programs to evaluate what the value per square foot is, what the rehab costs are going to be, and whether or not this is a deal. Now, if you're in one of our upper echelon memberships, where you pay for consulting and locating deals, we'll actually locate the deals for you and send them to you, right? So we've done the work to make sure they're a good deal. We send it to you. You then run your software program. By the way, we have software programs you use to evaluate the deal, to make sure you like it as a deal. We've already said we like it as a deal. You like it as a deal. And then you go look at the deal. And if you don't like the deal, and you can tag it, if we send it out, the first person who tags it gets to go look at it. Second person is in line. If the first person doesn't take it, the second person can. Usually 1 through 3 buys almost every deal that comes up. So what happens? If you don't know what you're looking for, you won't be able to find them. Number 2, even if you know what you're looking for, you've taken the education, you've paid attention to it, but you're still afraid. You're still going, that's not a house I'd live in. Go, no, we're not buying this house for you to live in it. We're buying this house for a tenant to live in it. And in this particular neighborhood, it's a very good tenant neighborhood. The profile might not be who you are or who your spouse is, but it's a very good tenant profile. And so if you're sitting there doing that, going, well, I'd only buy stuff that I'd live in, you're not going to get any rent houses unless you're a renter yourself, in which case you fit the profile. But then you really won't have that problem because you'll be able to see that these are really nice, clean, functional houses after we remodel them, right? We have to rehab them. So we go out and buy a house that's worth $200,000. We buy it for $100, $150, $125. And we put in $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 in rehab. And let's just use real simple numbers. We buy it for $100. We put $50 in it to rehab it. We own it for $150. It's worth $200, all right, after renovation. But we buy it for $100. It's got $50,000 in renovation. The average person doesn't want to buy a house and put $50,000 into it. Say, well, I don't either, because I'd have to put 20% down on $100,000, which is 20, and then $50,000 rehab. That's $70,000 out of pocket. We use something called hard money lenders. And what they'll generally do is lend you 75% of the after repaired value. So if the property is worth $200,000 after you repair it, and you, number one, have to know it that, you have to have the facts to prove that, which we have that. We teach you. We have the software. We give you the software. You can prove it's worth that. and then you know you're buying it for 100 and it's going to cost 50 to rehab it. Well, we teach you how to figure all that out too. Then you can go to them and say, I want to borrow 75% of 200,000, which is 150,000, and basically you come out of pocket for nothing, maybe some closing costs. And you've got to understand the system and how it works. And then you have to understand the fact that good deals don't last. So we bring this deal to you. Say, hey, here's a great deal. You look at it, your wife looks at it, your spouse, whatever looks at it, and one of you says, oh my God, that's ugly. And then you hesitate and say, okay, I understand you're not ready yet. You just don't understand that that's the way they have to look for us to capture equity. Now think about it. If we only put $20,000 down, which is the example where we didn't buy it for $100,000, we bought it for $120,000. If we put $20,000 down and we make $40,000 in captured equity, we just made a 200% return on our money. If we put $0 down and we make $50,000, that's infinite return. That's $50,000 on nothing. I mean, you just can't do that. Yet we do it every once in a while. Good deals don't last. You have to make deals happen. They don't just jump in your lap and go, okay, I'll wait for you. I love you. No, the deal doesn't love you. The deal wants to get done. And you have to make yourself available to that. And if you do that, if you are educated enough to know what they look like, you are set up and prepared with a hard money lender so you can get instant cash to do these deals, right? You've got your vendor in line, which we teach you how to get your vendor in line so you can get the rehab done instantly and not take months to do this rehab. You got to get this rehab done in weeks, not months, right? Then these deals happen. Now, as far as leasing goes, leasing a rent house is the easiest thing in the world to do. Unfortunately, it's the easiest thing in the world to do wrong. In other words, people are dying to get into your rent house. The only reason a rent house wouldn't rent instantly within a couple days is if the rent is way, way too high. Now, if it's too high, it'll still rent, but it'll rent to a purple Martian. It'll rent to somebody who knows the only way they're going to get in is to pay too much. But for discerning individuals that want a clean, functional place to rent at a decent price, if you put a clean, functional place out there at a decent price, it will get picked up instantly. So I'm going to teach you also how to rent properties this weekend and how to do it instantly, right? And, of course, we're going to network. So you're going to meet some people that do this stuff, and they're going to show you it really does work. And we have a case study Thursday night where you can come in. I think it's from 6 to 9. And we're going to show you 2 single-family deals and 1 multifamily deal live. We do this every month, and we do it every month in every city. So you can get to meet the real people that are doing these things and see that it actually works. All you have to do is get in here and get involved. And again, I'm going to tell you, so people are just tuning in, I've got a discount for you. It's normal membership, $740 for 1 year, then $240 per year after that. You can get in right now 2 years for only $297. That's a massive savings. And to do that, you've got to go to DellHelpMeNow.com. That's D-E-L, DellHelpMeNow.com. And put in the code, DEL. It's a promo code because it'll say 740 right there. But if you put in the promo code DEL, you can get in for $297. It's quite a savings. Then when you click through, I'm going to show you a bunch of different seminars because when you're a member, you can go to tons of different seminars if you want. But the one I want you to click to is Houston, Texas, 9th and 10th, 2-day. And if you want the case studies, probably not in there because this is just for the 2 days. But you can click in and I want you to come see mine so I can spend the time with you personally here in Houston this Saturday and this Sunday. And again, I don't spend much of the radio time talking about events, but this is the one big one for me a year. And I want you to come in and spend time with me because you're going to learn more in person than you will by listening to me over the radio or watching me by video. We'll take a short break, be right back with the Del Walmsley Radio Show.
Teaching you with a roadmap to creating the lifestyle you really want. Keep listening. The Del Walmsley Radio Show returns in moments.
For 30 years, I've taken the smartest people I could find and then held them up as examples for you guys to learn from. We're all only as strong as our best people. But the best part about this is that these best people are willing to give back.
Ready to learn from the best? It starts with our free online workshop. Stop depending on your paycheck. Quit worrying about retirement. Register now at lifestylesunlimitedworkshop.com.
You're hearing the Del Walmsley Radio Show. Want more life-changing knowledge? Access our podcast and listen on demand at lifestylesunlimited.com under the radio tab. Now your host, Del Walmsley.
Welcome back to Del Walmsley Radio Show. Today we're in the mailbag and we're discussing, really today this first email is covering availability of great deals is what it's coming down to. That is one of the fears that people have about getting started in something like this is, are there really deals out there? And the answer is yes, there's always deals out there. The next question this lady had was, are there any passive deals available where you get into somebody else buys an apartment complex and they run the thing, they operate it, they do all the work, and you just get in as a passive investor? And yes, there are tons of those deals available also. However, again, it comes down to these couple of facts. You need to come in and get educated because if, number one, you're not a sophisticated investor, which means you've gone through the training, or you're an accredited investor, which means you're worth more than $1 million, not counting your house, you will not be allowed to get in these deals. And what does sophisticated mean? We have classes you take. There's about 11 classes you take to become sophisticated enough to understand these deals. Now, why is that important? Because you are going to be offered tons of opportunities to look at deals. We have at any one time around 500 people that are lead investors, which is a certified version of a syndicator. Out there in the real world, there's syndicators you can go get hooked up with, but they don't know what they're doing, most of them, or they're crooked, many of them. And so we make people go through our training program and become certified syndicators, and we call them lead investors. They've signed an agreement to follow the white paper, which is a set of rules to protect the passives as much as we can possibly protect them. However, when you get into that situation, you have to, number one, have a lead that's showing you that they're following the white paper, and number two, have a passive that cares that they're following the white paper. Many passives go, I don't really care, I just want to get into a deal. That's not the right approach. You need to make sure that the lead that you're getting in with, the documents, and we'll teach you how to read the documents. We actually have classes on that and the important things to look for. But you need to read their document. It's their offering document and it says that it does what you're looking for it to do. Now, to the beginning of all that, there are really two different types of deals. There's something called a value play, and there's something called a yield play. A yield play is quite simply a property you buy. It's in functional condition the day you buy it, and the price you pay for it should allow for you to make cash flow the day you buy it. There is no reason that you should buy a property that doesn't make cash flow and call it a yield play. Well, I just want to hold on to the cash for a while. We're going to do some fix-up and this and that. Yeah, you can do all that. But the reality is that the thing should cash flow from day one if it's a yield play, right? Now, can you improve it? Yes. Can you make the rents go up? Absolutely. Can you make the value go up? Absolutely. But the first and most important point is it cash flows the day you buy it, right? That is a yield play. Now, the other end of the spectrum, all the way down the other side of a continuum, is something called a value play. And a value play is a situation where the property has so much wrong with it that it's not going to cash flow if you buy it. However, you should be able to buy that thing at a reduced price. The worse off it is, the better the price should be. That's the bottom line. Now, where I see people mess it up is they're finding people, they're trying to buy yield plays and paying too much for them so there's no cash flow, and they're calling it a value play. They say, yeah, but once we fix it all up, it's going to cash flow. No, you just overpaid for a yield play. There's not enough wrong with that property to make it a value play. It isn't really a value play. It's an overpriced yield play. And I see people doing this all the time. Now, we will teach you, and that's what I'm working very, very diligently with this weekend, is there are tons of these deals out there. If I can just get you to understand how to look at them. If you look at them with that simplistic format, I'm going to tell you how to appraise these properties and what they're worth. If you want to know what they're worth, you're going to go, I know this is worth this, and it has not enough wrong with it to be a value play. It should cash flow if we paid the right price for it. It's a yield play. This is worth this, but my gosh, it's so torn up, there's no way it's going to cash flow. So we have to buy it for way below what it's worth if it were repaired, right? And that's a value play. Now, once you understand those two and know how to look at the PPM, which is a private placement memorandum, and understand how to read it, then you have to decide which one of those you really want to be in. And that's a part of the seminar where I'm going to teach you what each of those are valuable for. They both have their place in your investment portfolio, but you need to understand the difference between the two, and I'm going to work with you on this. So you can see we got a lot to cover here this weekend. I've got to teach you how to evaluate, locate, evaluate, negotiate, and contract single-family houses, renovate them, and then rent them. I have to teach you how to understand the different types of multifamily deals. They will be brought to you. You don't have to worry about that. Those deals will be brought to you. You don't have to locate them. They'll be there. They'll be right in front of you. There'll be tons of them. You just have to be willing to read the memorandum, the PPM, private placement memorandum, and evaluate what they're saying and deciding, is this the kind of deal I want to put my money in? Now, the other kinds of things we'll work on this weekend is how much should you put in each deal? You know, how risky is the particular deal you're going into, and how should you curb your risk? Because rule number one is don't lose money. And the only money that's ever been lost at Lifestyles Unlimited is where someone didn't do what I told them to do, or they did something we told them not to do. And that does happen, because there are people that, even though they'll sign the document, yeah, I'll follow the white paper, they won't. But you can see it. You can see it in the PPM that they're not. In fact, some of them are so brazen, they go, well, you know, I know Dell says to do this and the PPM says that, but we're not going to do that. We're doing this instead. The thing that gets me is passives who come in for the training have been taught, watch out for those people, and yet they still follow them into deals, which to me is kind of strange. All right, so we got a lot to cover, and if you want to get that education this weekend so you can come out and get some of these great deals that are occurring right now, you need to get in here. And I've got a discount for you again, $297 for 2 years. It's normally $740 for 1 year, $240 for the second. I'm giving 2 years for $297. You got to go to DellHelpMeNow.com, DellHelpMeNow.com, all one line. And so you put www.DellHelpMeNow.com. And when you get there, use the promo code DEL, D-E-L, to get the $297 for 2 years. So $740 plus $240, that'd be $980. $980 worth of membership for only $297. So you definitely want to get in there and do that. You want to be here this weekend. Saturday and Sunday is when this is. So there's no time. This is time urgent decision in your life. But I guarantee you this. I guarantee you, if you come spend 2 days with me, there's no way you're not going to walk away from this thing going, man, it was worth every penny of it times 10. It was unbelievable. I learned a ton of stuff. It's going to change my life. I guarantee you that. That's my personal guarantee. And if it's not true, you can tell me to my face. But you're going to learn some stuff this weekend. Over-the-top stuff, I guarantee you. Even if you know something about real estate, we're going to show you some stuff that's even more advanced than that. Stuff that's going to save you millions of dollars of mistakes and make you millions of dollars of gains if you follow what it is that I'm teaching you. That's what we're going to do, and you've got to get there. You got to get there this weekend. It's very imperative. So go to DellHelpMeNow.com, put in the promo code DEL, D-E-L, and get in for $297. Now, by the way, this is a family membership. That's husband and wife for $297, not each. Right? So you get husband and wife and children 18 and younger for $297 for 2 years. That's unbelievable. I mean, you can't buy dinner for that, for your whole family for $297 probably. And you're going to get 2 years of membership for all of them. This next one's very, very important. It's one of the other things I'm going to be teaching you in the 2-day this weekend, which is that you have to leverage up your life if you want to be wealthy. If you want to be rich, you have to make right decisions. So let's take a look at this email. It says, I love your show and I'm a regular listener. I own a home that I bought for $470,000 4 years ago at a very low mortgage rate, around 3%. I lived in it until just last year for a job change, and we turned down an offer to sell it for $775,000. Now, that was a mistake right there. A couple of years ago, Zillow currently has it at a higher value. We've had it rented for $3,500 a month. We pay 9% to a property manager. As we have moved elsewhere to a different state, we earn about $400 a month after our mortgage is paid. All right, now they're trying to decide the tenant's going out. We will need to change renters in April and it's listed for $39.95 a month. We're thinking also about the sale in the $800,000 range in order to take up the $500,000 capital gain federal tax exemption before the 5-year window that closes this summer. You have to understand a couple of very important points. If they sell this right now, they can have a $500,000 capital gain tax-free. You get a one-time chance to do this in your life, but you have to live in the property 2 of the last 3 years, I think it is, or 4 years, or whatever it is. There's a set of numbers I'm not on top of anymore because I haven't done the seminars in a long time. But the bottom line is you have to do it within that period of time. So if they sell it right now and they pull out $500,000, which is easy, they bought it for $470,000, they put a mortgage on it, so they had to put something down on that $470,000. Let's say they have a $400,000 mortgage on there, and it's worth $8,000. That's $400,000 capital gains tax free. Number 2. They're only making $400 a month on this thing, which is ridiculous. That's 1.2% return. So guys, they're making 1.2% return if nothing goes wrong. Now, let's say they sell this and we pull out $400,000. I just told you I can buy you a rent house that will make you $400 a month, but I can buy it for you for nothing, $10,000 down, $20,000 down, $30,000 down, whatever. Let's just say it's $20,000 down. For $400,000, I can buy them 20 houses. If I buy you 20 houses that are making you $400 a month times 20, that's $8,000 a month tax free. They're making $400,000. They could be making $8,000 times 12. That's $96,000 a year tax free. They're making $400 a month. Do you understand the difference? Now, if you're out there right now and you understand what I'm saying, I could take what you already own, what you already have, and show you how to make it 10 times better, 20 times better than what you're doing right now. Wouldn't that be worth it to get in here? So let's not miss this. This weekend, I've only got one chance at you, one shot. That's why I'm beating you up here on the radio. It's because after this week, you won't hear anything about it because I won't be doing it anymore. So if you want to get in now, go to DellHelpMeNow.com. That's DEL, DellHelpMeNow.com. Register, put in the promo code DEL, and go down from $940 for 1 year to $297 for 2 years. Family membership, husband, wife, children under 18 and under. You don't want to miss this stuff, guys. I only have this one shot at you. I want to spend this weekend with you. I'm going to be there. You need to be there too. It's just that important to change your life. If you come there and you do not walk away going, this is the most interesting and most informative seminar I've ever heard, you come tell me. I'll let you know what I can do for you because it is going to blow your mind. I guarantee you. This is my personal guarantee. You could call me up on the radio and say, Del, that was a lie. It wasn't that good. You won't. You will be mesmerized. In fact, most people, when they come out of my seminar, say it was like drinking water out of a fire hose. It's just that much information. And it's coming at you as fast as I can get it to you and as complete as I can get it to you. Because I'd rather slow it down a little bit in person so you get your arms around it. Answer your questions and make sure you come away with enough that by Monday, that following week, next week, Monday, you should be able to start taking action to change your life. And do what? Retire in 5 years or less? Or double your net worth, double your income? These are the types of actions we'll be talking about. All you have to do is go to DellHelpMeNow.com, put in the promo code Dell, and change your life. Look forward to seeing you there. Have a great day. And remember, it's not just money. It's a quality lifestyle.
The information and opinions you hear on the Del Walmsley radio show are those of the host, Del Walmsley, his guests, and his callers. The Del Walmsley show is for entertainment purposes only. Please consult a professional regarding your personal investment needs. Nothing presented on the Del Walmsley show constitutes an endorsement, recommendation, offer, or solicitation to buy or sell any product or security.